Here's our business and leisure feature that makes us all proud to be a Filipino. This week's feature on Proud Pinoy is a bags and accessories maker and exporter whose products now sit among other lucrative brands in upscale stores abroad.
She is Carissa Cruz-Evangelista, who joins the shortlist of Filipino designers and exporters, a homegrown talent who is proud of her roots.
My name is Carissa Cruz-Evangelista. I'm a mom of two girls, Isabella Beatriz, who's 9, and Gabrielle Francesca, who's 7. My husband is Juju Evangelista. My mom is Gina de Venetian. My dad is Philip Cruz. And I'm the granddaughter of F.F. Cruz and of Nene Vera Perez of Sampaguita Pictures. My background's pretty diverse, but I grew up with a very loving family.
With her family background and education, one would hardly expect a young lady who would plunge headlong into a job that is not simple and laid back. Her first job just out of college was at the Center for International Trade, Expositions and Missions, or CITEM, where she spent 2 years. Her job was to assist exporters and joint trade missions abroad. Then she spent another 5 years or so at the Regional Operations Group of the Department of Trade and Industry, where she worked with the different provinces to roll out the different programs of DTI. She remembers particularly her involvement in the One Town, One Project program of DTI and the developmental work she did for SMEs.
I guess the exposure to exporters and to small businesses and the kinds of things that are made all around here in the country influenced the way that I thought. I always wanted to, I don't know, it's like I really enjoyed doing the developmental work in doing the One Town, One Product project that we had nationwide in DTI before. And I saw myself continuing doing product development work and helping small communities. Hence, I ended up working again with livelihood communities. Yung mga nagro-crochet, yung gumagawa ng banig, yung gumagawa ng metal work. So, I ended up seeing ano yung pagkagaling dun sa mga probinsya at yung mga artists na nandun. And then we started working with them. They eventually created a brand which is called Beatriz.
Carissa grew up in a family of entrepreneurs from both sides. Her aunt, Josie Notori, is known in international fashion, for instance, and it is no surprise that Carissa would be drawn into the industry. Her first outing was at the Manila Fame, the country's premier export trade show. Here she was exposed to different international buyers, and this is what she considers as her baptism of fire.
Pretty soon, we had enough lakas ng loob to join the New York Now trade show abroad. So it was our first show. And then the second time we joined, that's when we met a group of opera. And then they selected us for the topics of opera for Christmas last year.
This is because Carissa believes that if you put a Made in the Philippines label on your product, you must make sure that the quality is indeed world-class. The first product she launched was a series of metal bags, 7 pieces in all with matching bangles, and for these, she worked with the artisans of Bulacan.
And I thought that the bags and bangles were very pretty, and it's something that looked uniquely Filipino, but then might have a chance of being exported abroad. And at that time, there were a lot of different designers also working with metal. So I don't know, parang hilig. That's how I started out with that.
Carissa confesses to love bags and accessories and is simply amazed at how they can complement an outfit.
It's like lipstick. It's like lipstick, or it's like sunshine. So it's fashion, something that's fun.
Of her stint with Manila Fame, which was baptism of fire, she learned the ropes of the business, which she says is not all about fun.
I worked with manufacturers and artisans. I tried to see if I could do the projections in case anybody would like to make an order. there's something called pre-order, and there's some things na parang you manufacture ahead to see if someone's going to buy it. Then you need to make a projection also kasi dapat negosyo din siya. That's another thing that designers need to realize. It's not just the love of designing that's important or the creation, but there's also a business toward it. Because if you don't maintain the business, you can't make more things to create.
She is now working with 6 or 7 communities already, but she is still on the lookout for more communities to work with. Now she is developing a community in Cebu that is into the old art of crocheting.
We're selling it under a brand called Costa del Sol. We're selling it in Alimol. There's a store that's carrying us there for the crochet work. But then we're trying to see if we can do more crochet work with them using other materials.
At her own company and brand, she functions as head designer and head merchandiser. Though she has a whole design team to assist her, she also makes sure to listen to her manufacturers and artisans for new ideas that she may adopt for her brand. In the domestic and foreign market, there is no shortage of manufacturers of high-end bags and accessories. So we asked Carissa what makes the Beatriz brand unique.
Not to toot my own horn, but I guess hopefully it's the quality, the heart that's put into it. Because we have different materials to work with, but I think when I think of Beatriz, I think of something that's fun, something that's made by hand, or a component that's made by hand, some part that's like colorful. Because if you end up seeing, we have our metal, so that one, those bags won the Katha Award. So those are if you see, they're hammered, so it's something by hand. And then we also have these bags that we developed naman for the Japanese market. So you can see also there's a lot of handwork with this. There's also the handwork with the shell. There's the handwork also with the painted bags, especially with, if you end up looking at the cuffs and the thread bags that we have, because they're all individually glued. So maybe that's something that's unifying, aside from the colors, and it's something that's fun.
And Beatriz, the brand has definitely arrived. They have a showroom in Paris and one in New York, something that not too many local brands can claim.
But after the New York Now show, nag-iisip ako I was getting calls at 3 in the morning. Sabi ng asawa ko, so sasagutin mo lahat yan. Diba? And usually stores, so especially smaller stores, they prefer dealing with people in their time zones. So I thought it was an investment in our part to be able to work with someone who'd answer their calls, would help with the shipments. Kasi habang, kung baga dito sa Pilipinas may call center, di ba? Habang tulog ako, may nagtatrabaho din. But then of course, it's like I still email the stores, I send things to them also.
That was quite a leap of faith she took not too long ago, and the gamble has certainly paid off.
There was a consultant from CITEM that came and he said that your bags are perfect for Saks, because he worked at Saks, and then I wasn't sure what that meant, but then I guess that's something that I aspired for. So when we were able to show in Saks.com, it meant something to me.
In the domestic market, her bags and accessories can also be found in many high-end stores. They are now focusing on their thread bags as well as their shell bags, where she uses mother of pearl.
You can find it in Firma, Cura 5, or Stans, in House of Laurel, and online we also sell with vitostudio.com.
Carissa Cruz-Evangelista is a perfect example of an entrepreneur who has ventured boldly into a relatively new field for her without much going for her but her boldness and her creativity, and she would like to share this advice to budding entrepreneurs out there.
The advice that I would give entrepreneurs would be, don't give up, because if the path that you choose to be, just to be an entrepreneur, can be a very difficult one. Yung access to financing, saan ka kukuha ng pera? Kasi nag-fund ka na ng ginagawa mo ng PO mo, but then maybe the down payment isn't enough. And then nag-iikot ka din ng pera. So it's like when the troubles come, if you really, really want it, don't let it go. And talk to people who survived and who thrived. Because somehow that's what I did para hindi, that's what I did para like to motivate myself. I talked to people who went through the same kind of process or a similar process, and somehow they thrived and they got better. I want to hear stories of people na I went up the mountain and back and I survived.
She admits that she loves hearing stories of people who had dreams, aspirations, and ambitions, and persevered and worked hard to fulfill those dreams because these inspire her no end.
I'm very grateful to people like you and to who have these kinds of shows that continue to inspire people to be able to move forward, because it's really important. Entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, and it's okay. If ever you want to be an employee, there's nothing wrong with that. But be the best employee that you can. If you want to be a teacher, be a teacher. Be the best teacher that you can. Not everyone is cut out to bring the pail up the mountain and back. I mean, and it doesn't make you less of a person. And some people are good at it, some people aren't. So just find like what your niche is in life and just be the best person at it.
In this room are some of Carissa's best creations, and she proudly showed them off to us.
This is our award-winning bag that won the Katha Award in 2014, 15, I think. And basically, it was inspired by Darth Vader. So it's our Star Wars bag. The inspiration came from the fountains in Jordan. Then they had like these very, very sculptural shapes, and then also the helmet of Darth Vader. So
More hammered metal bags came after this award-winning bag.
our thread bags that we're known for, we won. I don't know if you won. You can say won. We were selected by Oprah last year as one of her top picks for the holiday. These kinds of bags are all individually glued. So there's a lot of handwork involved. They're very colorful, so they're fun. This is the Oprah magazine that we came out with for Oprah's favorite things. It would be nice to meet her. And then here, this is the page. Yeah, this is the page. So we came out on Amazon for that, and then we were promoting our brand. We also have our banig bags. This is for spring summer 2018.
For next year?
Yeah, because there's a development schedule, so we sent our bags already to the US. This was made by a designer who was a student of Malang. This is from the community in Angono, Rizal. And then we also have individual artists that we're working with. I think his name's Rudy Lunod. You can see also, this is Bud's Convocar there. This is his work. He's an award-winning designer. So the finishing is really different. It's very pretty.
Very classy.
Very classy. You could take a look at this. Here. There's also
Gawa siya sa ano?
painted din siya.
And this one po.
Ito. Meron siyang base. May base din siya. Tapos ito may snake skin na nandito. And so if you can see, it's like a mix already of our metal where we started and our thread. So may continuity yung work namin.
Carissa Cruz-Evangelista can go on and on about her awesome lines because she has not stopped designing and working. This proud Pinoy who enjoys her work as much as the people enjoy using her Philippine-made bags and accessories.
That was Carissa Cruz-Evangelista, creator and exporter of the Beatriz brand of bags and accessories, our featured proud Pinoy this week.